Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week, where it's the 50th episode actually this season, believe it or not. 50 episodes covering what has been an up and down, sort of lot of highs and lows, but with the way you look at it, an unforgettable kind of season under two managers, especially. So this episode is basically going to be rounding up that season, having a look at sort of the player of the season, best games, best signings, stuff like that, and we'll give a sort of review on how we think it's went from our point of view, because obviously we've covered it. Let's for that first pre-season game at Partick Thistle all the way to right now, so we've no missed a week. So proud of us for covering every emotion is available to go back and see when Janino Bacuna was getting my like I needed him in the team, and then obviously you've seen how that happened. So we'll talk about a player of the season sort of stuff, team of the season in the whole of the Scottish Premier League. It's been an interesting season throughout the league this year. I thought it's been pretty competitive throughout. The relegation battle obviously just finished a couple of weeks ago. The race for European football and stuff was tight, and then obviously the league again tight, won by Celtic of course, but we'll look and give a sort of a best 11 throughout the SPFL season as well. But starting off, we'll go with the Scottish Cup first. One last game to round up for this season. Saturday Scottish Cup final. It didn't really feel like a final to me, to be honest. Just we obviously Wednesday's events coming straight into a Scottish Cup final again. If we had to lose the Scottish Cup final, it would have been devastating. I couldn't imagine even going on Twitter now and seeing what I saw if we'd have lost that game on Saturday. So on the whole, just great to get a cup in our hands and get Gio's first piece of silverware. I thought we really just dominated Hearts, to be honest with you. How did that game need extra time? On the base set, absolutely destroyed Hearts over the 90 minutes, limited them to nothing, and then in extra time obviously we get the job done. Nice strike for Ryan Jack, and then a counter attack, and Scott Wright scores his goal. So 2-0 winners. Scottish Cup final. We see Amad Diallo start that game actually, which was a nice surprise. Thought he'd done really well, and it really annoys me how he's coming into form and starting to sort of growing confidence at the very end of the season. And that's one thing I'll look at, is maybe getting him back for next season. I think that would be one that would benefit him. And then if Man United are looking at it that way, how would you not benefit to come to somebody that was just in the Europa League final again? So another season fighting on all fronts could do him very well, and it's clear to see that he's improved, he's confident in these past couple of weeks at Rangers. But what was your thoughts on the final?
I thought that boy for Everton I nearly gave me a heart attack for Hearts. I almost put the ball in the net but hit off the post, but no, pretty same as you. Thought it was maybe shocking for the referee. I thought the referee had a really bad game. Overall, I think we dominated them. I think it was just, as I said, mate, as I've been saying, it's nice to get the cup sort of back on track with getting the Scottish Cup back, which is great. Sensational goals for Ryan Jack and Scott Wright. I was prepared to get him tattooed on Wednesday, but I will say Scott Wright turned up, as I said, for both cup games, in my opinion. Diablo, he was unlucky, mate, to get a goal. Wee header, come on. But no, overall, mate, I was happy with it, as I said. And at the end, obviously McGregor getting the ovation and what have you. I'm hoping he doesn't do an Undertaker and keep coming back. But overall, I'm happy with a cup. Happy Gio's got his first trophy, first taste of silverware, as he said. Pretty deflated for Wednesday night, and didn't really feel up for it, for being honest with you, the way I probably would have felt if it was just a cup game. But as I say, when you watch the game, you're in the emotion, mate. It's good to get a cup in the cupboard. So overall, I'm happy with it, mate.
Yeah, you said it well there. Good to get the Scottish Cup back. First victory since 2009, so a long period of time has went without winning that cup. Obviously 2016 against Hibs, the last time we were in the final. But since then, you could clearly see Tavernier enjoyed winning that trophy, because I think he thought back to those days, 2016 and stuff like that, and times that we've came so close to pushing on the Scottish Cup, not quite made it. So it'll be good for him, first off, to obviously captain the team to a Scottish Cup victory. And
also like seeing their families as well. Do you know what I mean? I like to see them getting their families involved, and it was good to see them everyone together. She said it's happy for the captain to finally get that trophy after so many disappointments in that competition. So, as I say, mate, I just felt like a good wee family day out for the Rangers players and what have you. But overall, I'm happy with it.
Aye. It was a perfect way
more
to
of
end the
many,
season, really,
hopefully.
wasn't
Aye,
it?
more of many, hopefully coming.
Aye, I hope so. I hope that's us right. We've got our first trophy now. We need to keep pushing on and getting every trophy we can. We were really unlucky, like really, really unlucky on Wednesday, not taking away maybe the biggest prizes ever. But you'll take a Scottish Cup. See when you're in the final and stuff, and people are like, nah, thank God this is the last game for this, that, and whoever. Like, nah, I was looking at, we need to win this cup and we need to push on and win silverware because, I mean, 2 trophies in a lot of these players' tenures not really good enough when you
look at it, absolutely. But at the end of the day, you need to remind those people we're Rangers, and at the end of the day, any cup we're in, we look to win. So that's just my attitude towards it, son.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the players' attitudes as well. Like, you could see for interviews and stuff after the game, they were deflated after getting beat, but this was a big opportunity to go and get another trophy when they wanted. Worked really hard for like that. That win against Celtic was one of the greatest I've seen at Hampden. Just the way we had done it and the character we showed. So to go and beat Celtic and all that, of course you want to go and win the trophy after that. And we done it to a good degree. I thought everybody on the pitch, especially the players that played the 120 minutes before on the Wednesday, Bassey, Lundstrom, Goldson, Tavernier, Kent as well. I thought they were absolute machines on that pitch. I genuinely feel like he could just keep on running like all day. The squad has shown a great level of fitness in these extra time games, especially back to back. Like, it's just not easy to do at all, especially at the level of opposition you're playing. Hearts are obviously coming to go and win a cup. They're going to push you hard. And then the game before, Frankfurt, obviously it's a 40-degree heat Europa League final. So to come back and play back-to-back 120 minutes for all the day players, and again, just not even look like they're breaking a sweat half the time. Massive respect to that, and just massive respect to the players. I think they deserve the trophy this season, to be honest with you. Pushed really hard in every competition. Fell short, obviously, in 3 of them, but to cap off with the Scottish Cup, I think it's the least everybody deserved. And as you say, with Al McGregor coming on for the last couple of minutes, we're seeing reports now today that possibly a year extension onto that deal. I think with Gio subbing him on in that, it should be time.
Look, as I said, don't be doing an undertaker. Don't be coming back. That was a beautiful send off. Tremendous goalkeeper, as I said. I love Al McGregor. We grew up with Al McGregor in the net. So I'm never going to badmouth him, but all I've said is, I say throughout the hangway, this has got to be the last season, because I can't go another season Al McGregor in goals. I can't, man. I love the boy to death, as I say, man, but
you can clearly see he's tailed off. This season he tailed off. He's comment on his Instagram there with Gerard. A lot of points were lost through Al McGregor this season, which was on another sort of season when he's younger. Does he save them? I don't know, but he seems to have tailed off a large bit. In Europe, he's been great, but I think domestically and stuff, we could have done a lot better. It says a lot to me that 2 of our probably most comfortable performances were against Celtic and Hearts in the semi and final of the Cup with John McLaughlin in net. Like, I think John McLaughlin definitely deserves a go-ahead to go and push for number 1. Even that Hearts get the corner in the 88th minute, I couldn't even watch the pitch because obviously back the 2016 Hibs one, similar time, they get a corner and then they go win it, and John McLaughlin just grabs the ball and he's like, no, I like a goalie commanding the box and just taking the ball. McGregor just doesn't do that, man. He just puts you under unnecessary pressure. And as you say, club legend, club icon, one of your favourites that have ever been at the club. And it's nothing against the guy at all. It's seeing these celebrations and stuff after the game was class as always in his interview. So I think it's just time for him, the way it's sort of finished, to move on. And we need to start planning for the future and net now.
I'll tell you somebody.
It's great to get Al McGregor back in 2018, but I think
it's somebody who it's no time to move on for me is Balogun. Get that boy one more year, as I say. I thought he had a great game in the final. Bossed it. She said with Ryan Kent as well, running about for days. Honestly, he could. Tremendous game, but Balogun for me is somebody we've got to at least give him another year because he is a solid defender on his day, man.
Nah, because you see he slots in on Saturday, and just looks the part, just not really a foot wrong at all. And that's a thing with Balogun, never really puts a foot wrong even when he plays. Like, obviously he has his injuries over the season where you might miss him for a few games, but on a year as a rotation centre half, not one of your sort of starters. Another year for him is essential for me, I think. Especially him still being a Nigerian international as well. He's still got that in his locker, so definitely a no-brainer. Stephen Davis is the other one that's come up again, still a Northern Ireland international. I feel we have too much in the middle of the park to offer Davis another year. Personally, I just think we should be looking elsewhere, but that may just be me.
I think that is just true for me personally. As I said to you, if you can give Scott Arfield another year, you can definitely give Stephen Davis another year. As I say, Davis doesn't need to play every game. You can bring him on for maybe the odd game if you're playing some youngsters like they did at Hearts. But I just think another year of Stephen Davis would be good. As I say, mate, fantastic. I love Davo. I seen he's been linked with, what's it, Motherwell? I thought you said to me he was going to St Mirren, but I seen he's getting linked with Motherwell now.
Motherwell.
I wouldn't be shocked if he goes there to be like a player coach or something. I wouldn't be shocked to see him going into that kind of role. But if he's going there, mate, fair play to him.
Nah, wherever he ends up, if he's not a Rangers, obviously best team. I think looking the way it is with these reports coming out, it might be quite likely that he does sign on for another year, but maybe on his basis, he wants to go and play as much football as he can for the last year, and maybe Rangers won't guarantee him that. So
even if he does, if he goes to a team like Motherwell, they've got what, Conference League football, is it?
They've got Conference League qualifiers and stuff and that coming up. So
I mean, there you go. He's still playing European football as well. He's still in there competing, but I would maybe just, as I say, give him another year. But it's all about if he wants to play football, and if he's going to go and play, then let him go and play, man.
And then a player that is coming in the door, and John Souttar, obviously started for Hearts. I didn't actually expect him to start. I thought Robbie Nielsen would just leave him out in the dark and be like, nah, you're going to Rangers, I'm not putting you against them. But that was it was committed to winning the cup for Hearts. Doesn't matter if he was playing for Hearts and signing for Rangers in the day. He looked like he was committed to winning the cup for them, and I think comfortably the second best player in the part behind Bassey on the day. Thought it was just down to him and how solid he is at the back. Like, we didn't get in a couple of times with Joe Aribo, or the defence was so solid. So it was nice getting to actually see John Souttar in the flesh. I think we'd only seen him maybe once this season. Obviously, that was before any rumours came up and we signed him. And then he didn't play in the 5-0 game. He played in the 3-1 game just recently, only for 5 minutes or so. But to actually get to see him for a full 90, I thought, he was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to him coming in. Just, it's essential he stays fit. Like, we need that guy to stay fit. If he's going to be what looks like probably our main centre half next to whoever maybe will come in, I think it'll be a good signing. But that's all lying on if he's going to be fit.
If he's going to stay fit, as I say, mate, that was probably my first time really, really watching him. Could see he had a smile on his face when he seen Gio, so I like that kind of stuff. But no, man, he looks solid. He looks a solid centre half. And I'm same as you, mate. I'm looking forward to him coming in the door. I'm looking forward to John Souttar. That's one that I'm excited about. He has been treated, I think, a bit harsh, as you know, by Hearts sometimes, just obviously because he signed for us. But I can't wait, mate. See me that Rangers top in hand. Let's go. Let's get the business going. First of hopefully many coming in the door, Jack.
Hopefully this transfer window, as we then report on it in the weeks to come, like when it opens up, we are signing quality players. I really hope so, because at the moment it's not really looking too promising. Obviously, it's still early doors, but you need to get your contracts and that sorted. I get that, but I would just rather we sort of prioritise getting Bassey, and with the links he's getting, Aribo, Kent, and
let's talk on it now, Jack.
Let's talk
on it now, right? I'm done with it. I've had enough of it. All the players obviously are going to be linked with Aston Villa because Gerrard's managed them and what have you. But this one here, this is the golden boy for me. This is my guy Bassey. I cannot have him go to Aston Villa. I really can't. Do you know what I mean? I can't have him going and being wasted for a bang average. I mean, they've got a really good squad, and I think they should be competing for European football. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think Calvin Bassey should go there. If he's going to go anywhere else, fair play. But honestly, I'll go down to Birmingham myself with my slipper in hand, and I'll call Steven Gerrard dafty while I hit him over the head with it. Stay away from my boy Calvin. Honestly, I'd rather he goes to Bayern Munich or somewhere. I'd rather stay here and sign the contract, to be fair, and try and play Champions League football next season. But honestly, anywhere but Aston Villa, man.
No, I think that's a main motto for every single player that we have. I see a youngsters away to Aston Villa actually for the academy, so he can get to. But in terms of our main players and players who have obviously closely worked with Gerrard for a few seasons there, I really don't want to go and see them sort of jump ship and sign for him. It wouldn't really any club but Villa. Let's be honest. I'd like to see if Bassey has to stay. I think it's going to be one of the sort of transfer rumours that boils over the full summer. But I would really, if we're going to sell him quick, because we need to get a replacement or two in. If not, sign the contract, Calvin. We'll love you. Again, another player unlikely became sort of a club hero this season. I don't think a lot of people would have predicted that, apart from yourself, obviously, this season. But
thank you.
Bassey, he looks to be maybe our biggest money maker ever at the moment, anyway, with the sort of traction he's getting. So I know the club and all that, they'll need to think about the finance, and if you're getting offered about 35 million for the guy, like, surely you maybe need to have a look at that. I'm looking at Leeds and signing Brendan Aronson for Salzburg, and I'm looking at the Austrian league. How can't we command fees like that for our players? I mean, Bassey is going to go on and play at the top of the game, let's be honest. And I just don't want to see us undersell ourselves. I think that's maybe the main thing. I think the main sort of reason why we're scared of losing some players, because you know what the board are like, and obviously Patterson was good to get 12 million for him, but you look at Bassey, you're maybe looking at double, triple that, in my opinion. Especially when man of the match in the Europa League final.
I know.
That's where most of his eyes are going to be. He's in the team of the tournament in that competition. Like, he's getting major traction. So if he moves on, again, we'll talk about it obviously, but hopefully he's a Rangers player now, and hopefully it stays that way. Because as you saw his performances, he's absolutely vital.
World class, mate. I don't care. He's world class. I don't care what anybody says. He's world class. We signed him for free, and if he goes for mega money, fair play. But anywhere but Aston Villa, I just think he'd be wasted there. I'm sorry.
Aye. And you're looking at him at the moment, like, who are their centre halves? Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings is in the England squad every single time, and I don't know how. Like, again, laughable. And then Gareth Southgate's in England team came out yesterday, and still no Tavernier, no Kent. Like, Tavernier is I can understand why not, but I was just sort of, give him a cap or something.
I know.
Like, you're calling up James Justin for Leicester, and you're trying to tell me James Tavernier, who finished top scorer of the Europa League, captained his team to the fucking final, isn't a better option than that. Like, because he doesn't play in the Premier League, he'll never get noticed. Which is
he's just put Tomori in there, and he who won the Italian league with AC Milan. So I know some England fans have been wanting him in the team for a wee while, but I don't see any other players get capped, being honest with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Europa League finalists and what have you might have done, but I can't see any of them getting into that squad. He has a Pacific. I mean, he still plays Harry Maguire. Come on.
No.
Might be one of the worst centre halves.
Maybe it'd be better if they just sort of stay out of that team, play with him, make him back worse players. But we'll go on to sort of reviewing the season then. We've talked about the rumours that are at the moment, but the season sort of a whirlwind of season. Let's be honest. I mean, it started off with such positivity, getting back into the stadiums and Champions League qualifiers, and obviously that didn't go to plan, and the start of the season was a bit slow to what we obviously anticipated, but we grinded out results under Gerrard, and we got ourselves in a good position. Obviously then he departs, Gio comes in. It was really good up until Christmas, and then we just sort of had that bad patch, and I'm glad that Gio's actually found his identity now, and you can see the sort of style we're going for, and players are buying into that, because let's be honest, looking at Gio's sort of first few games and maybe times where it didn't go as well, you're looking at it thinking, what actually are we? Like in the Celtic game in particular at Parkhead,
Oh,
I don't understand what actually happened, but I feel like that was a massive turning point for us as a team and under his management. Because, I mean, straight after that game, John Lundstrom was in and never left the team. Like, if we had to go and beat Celtic there, would we have went on and changed the formation and get Lundstrom and all that in the team? I don't know, because I think that was a blessing in disguise, really. It sort of changed everything about how we play and sort of got a bit of resilience in the team. And I think Gio's worked wonders with what he's had available towards the tail end of the season as well, having to deal with false nine Aribo and play Scott Wright and stuff like that, players that in for the dark. And I mean, I think he's done a fantastic job, and it just gets me
excited
for next season. As soon as that game finished and seeing the celebrations after the Scottish Cup final, it just got me really excited to see what's going to be happening next season. Who's going to be here, what the team's going to look like, and pushing on for Champions League qualification again. Like, we're in a good position as a club. And I'm just happy that Gio is at the helm at the moment. He's got his first piece of silverware. Hopefully we can push on and do better in the league, because when you look at it on paper, Celtic are apparently this fantastic team. They only beat us with the league by 4 points. Like, it was really tight. It was really tight, and it's going to be tight maybe for a couple of seasons, especially with them improving as well. So, I think the season was, as a whole, it was good. A lot of low points in the season. I think back to the Hibs semi-final for a first off, just how that even happened, 3-0 down in 20 minutes or something like that. How did that even happen? Dundee United was another one away from home. Like, just that sort of start of the season with Gerrard was just slow and just lacked anything. Malmo again, I mean, at the time was very bad, and then you look at, we got to the Europa League final anyway, so there was definite low points, and obviously at the very end, obviously losing the Europa League final, but the high points were probably the highest I've ever seen at Ibrox. Like Leipzig, Dortmund, some of the games in the league where Aberdeen, I remember that one, came out with scoring the winner and stuff. Like, big moments at Ibrox. And just a good season. Would I be sitting here saying that if we didn't win the Scottish Cup? Probably not. I'd probably be saying it was a failure. But to finish it off with silverware and do as well we've done in Europe and all the money that will come with that and the traction and stuff like that, I think we've done well this season.
I think we've done really well, mate. To be fair, as you say, we've got to the thing, as we say, we've reached the Europa League final. But as you say, start of the season was really slow. I remember going to the Partick game and the Real Madrid games, mate, and beating Real Madrid, that's not for everyone. I'm just saying that. Cedric getting the goals in fashion as well. But even just the first home game of the season as well, it was a bit slow, and you could tell just with Gerrard that maybe there was something not right there. But I mean, since Giovanni's come in, mate, obviously there was questions about him, as you say, after the Celtic game and whatever. I was one that was wondering myself, but just to kick on for there, I think it's benefited him coming in halfway through the season as well, because he really gets to know his players after defeats like that and going through what they've gone through in Europa League and whatever. You getting to see what kind of characters they've got. Are they going to be a part of the team as well? So overall, as I say, he must be assessing and saying who's going to be here, who's not going to be there. But it has been, as you say, some of the low points. I mean, that's the Johnston away game.
Even though we won it, that was still fucking disgusting, wasn't it?
I don't honestly, that was one of the worst footballing games, man. He was just standing there and he didn't make any substitutions. Everyone was saying, come on. The Dundee away game as well. That was torture at the start of the season. I mean, as you say, losing the Champions League as well, that was something we all wanted. But I mean, there was a blessing there when we get through to the Europa League. But even under Gerrard, it looked like we were going out and we were all saying to ourselves, so I'd rather just focus on the league then. No, with Giovanni, no. I'll take the final, sir. I'll take it. I've got so much more confidence in Giovanni in Europe, man. I actually think we can genuinely go up against anyone and give him a good go at it. I mean,
I genuinely, I'm the same. I think we could play any single team on the planet and give them a proper game. Like Liverpool, Man City, whoever. I genuinely think, not even just Ibrox, but in general, I think this guy knows what he's doing.
That's what I'm saying. And even over two legs, as I said, NBA kind of coach, I'm telling you, he likes to figure the teams out in the first. I'm telling you, and then when he gets them in the second games, especially at home, he knows because of the atmosphere, we're going to battle him. All the confidence in the world in him in Europe. I think it's just took him a hangman in the league. It's just took him some time just to figure out in the league. Obviously, we know that it's a lot more difficult to get motivated for Ross County away than it is playing Dortmund at home, but still got to bring that energy and that fire. I'm just, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you've got to. As I say, mate, first half of the season was we were questioning a lot of stuff. We were questioning the motivation, the hunger there for the players in Gerrard, in my mind anyway. And then, as I say, him leaving was probably a blessing in disguise, because I really do back Giovanni now. I was obviously gutted and heartbroken after the loss to Celtic. For me, that did sort of determine where the title was going. But even after that, do you know what I mean? There was still games where you're thinking, right, cool, it's still close, and then obviously we dropped some points and what have you. But overall, next season, I'm hoping this Scottish Cup isn't the only trophy Gio's going to add. I'm hoping that we're going to add some more. And as you say, you've got to give credit to Celtic. I do think they've got a good enough squad. They did the right thing when they lost the league title. They went out and invested in players and spent money, and that's what this board needs to learn how to do. It would be nice if they could splash the cash once in a while. Overall, I'm looking forward to next season. I can't wait for it. I want to see who's coming in the door, and I want to see who's leaving. Obviously, we know Connor Goldson's going. I think he'll have a close eye on the Notts Forest game at the weekend there. So, aye. It's quite annoying that we don't get money for him. I know we paid some money for him, do you know what I mean? For him to leave on a free, what he's done, what have you. I do think you should be commanding a decent fee for Connor Goldson just to let him leave on a free. I think that shows you how poor the board are.
With the contract situation, I know it's hard. Just if guy doesn't want to sign, he doesn't want to sign. At the end of the day, I get that. But the way the board have handled their contracts, and I always think he's Ross Wilson at that. I think it was a Player of the Year awards last season. For when we won the league and that, like, naturally we're very relaxed on player contracts, and I'm like, what club is like this? Like, who lets players' contracts run down to the last year and all that, and then you don't make any money for them? You should be pushing to go and sign these players onto contracts for a couple of years extension and give yourself the best opportunity to keep them.
FIFA than Ross Wilson is in real life, mate. See, when I see that there's a player that's only got 2 years left, I'm straight on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Ross Wilson needs to be, man. He needs to
especially looking with like Bassey and Aribo and Kent, Morelos, they're all running out in 2024. So we're going to need to fucking get our arse in gear and start fucking dishing out the contracts, and not year extensions to Al McGregor and that. Like, get the players that you want to be here you're going to be your sellable assets. You need to get them tied down. Again, if they don't want it, they don't want it. But
if they don't want it, then fair play to them. But just to go back to obviously talking about the season, like, some of the greatest nights of my life, man, those Europa League nights, honestly, they're nights that will live forever, man. And to say that we were there, we were a part of them, that's very special to me. As I say, was it there at the first one where we were all relying on Robbie McCrory away from home to do the business, get kicked in the face, he did the business, and then he did the business in El for him and all. That's another highlight for me, the 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Getting the big mouth, and then we go and big Philip Hollander with a header. I seen he's one that a lot of people are talking about now. Obviously, you tweeted it out. Should we sell him? Should we keep him? Bit injury prone there, but on his day, he is a good defender. I'm going to call him Bambi on ice. I won't forget that away game to Easter Road, mate. I'm telling you, man, boy likes to ski and slide along the park, but just to the contracts as well, mate, as we're talking about here, you've got to get them in order. You can't let players like the quality that Connor Goldson has shown. All right, we're all still sitting here and saying all you have to do, Goldson, is put your foot out, and that ball doesn't go in the net, son. We're sitting here as European champs. But that's a what if. But no, you just can't let players leave a free, especially if you've paid big heavy fees for them. And if they've added, as I say, they've got to have added the value there with Connor Goldson with the season he had last season, and then being a Europa League final.
I think if Goldson's sitting here with his contract running out next season, I think we paid $3.5 million for him. Say a Prem team comes in for him, I think you could maybe double that money, because he's obviously the vice captain. Look at how available he is and that. But he's going to move on. I think it's inevitable. We've all kind of accepted it. Watching him sort of as the team were celebrating on Saturday, going around the Rangers end and sort of clapping everybody, I felt that was him sort of just taking in and saying his goodbyes, which I thought, I'm just still thinking, I'm like, why would you want to go anywhere else? Like, that's obviously it's up to him, but I can't wrap my head around it.
As what I was about to say, mate, I can't wrap my head around they want to leave Rangers right now. It was do you know what I mean? It was the same last season. Why would you want to leave? We're on the process of building something here. You're going to be remembered for a very long time. you know what I mean? If you stay here, you win the trophies, but Europa League finalists, challenging for Champions League, European nights, you want to sacrifice that to go and play against Burnley away? Do you know what I mean? I can't even wrap my head around that. Do you know what I mean? I really can't. As I say, do you know what I mean? In England, the Premier League, you've got all the big wage. So I know it's also about securing your family's futures at anything else in any other kind of job. So I can respect that. But I look forward to Connor Goldson's shoot interview where he talks about how the fans have treated him and what have you and all that. I'm looking forward to this shooting interview.
Because you know it's going to happen. Like if he moves on and he'll get asked about his time and all that, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that will just sort of shy away. He seems like he'll just say how he feels, and I hope he knows it is wrong. We've been critical of the guy so heavily, but it's just because we know how good he is. Like you've seen like games, he's been literally unplayable. Nobody can get by him, and then he does stupid stuff like passing the ball just straight to the opposition, and that you're like, what do you even do? It'll be sad to see him go, right enough, but
no, I'll be sad to see him go, of course. As I said, if he's there and wants to stay, get me sign that contract straight away. But it's the same with anyone, you know what I mean? When we talk about him, as I say, with me, with Scott Wright, I don't think there's a player there. I just can't see it happening. Do you know what I mean? I hope he proves me wrong. I really do. I hope he proves me wrong. As I say, the last couple of games he has, it was about one of the only ones that turned up in the European final, and then he gets the lovely goal in the Scottish Cup. So hopefully he does. I was looking forward to getting him tattooed. I'm not going to lie, if Fred won that. But no, just you can't waste the contract extensions on, as we're saying, players like McGregor and Davis. Do you know what I mean? I would take Davis, as I said, but at the end of the day, if it's between signing those to an extension or getting a player like Joe Rebo longer, Toby agrees with me. Toby's saying he wants a longer contract. Do you know what I mean? It's just obvious to me.
Yeah, I think it will be a big summer in terms of who comes, who goes. But in terms of this season, we'll talk about our sort of awards. Then who we giving? Like, first, we'll start off with the best game of the season. I mean, there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot to pick for, but I think the obvious one everybody's going to say is Borussia Dortmund away, because that's the one I've put as well.
Other Leipzig at home. I think that they're the only two. Maybe you could say Celtic at Hampden, or you could say the 1-0. But for me, it's Dortmund away, man. That's when we all really sat up and went, we could actually do something here.
I think it was because it was so unexpected to not only just go and get a result, but I think if we go and watch, it will be on the channel before the Dortmund game. I think we were saying, like, just go over there and stay in the tie, like just bring something back to Ibrox, because you want to play Dortmund at Ibrox with the game still intact so you can go and try and go through. But I don't think anybody actually expected us to be 3-0 up in 46 minutes, to be honest with you. And then the game ends up 4-2. Absolutely wild performance, and probably one of the best that this sort of the Gerrard era team, if you say, has played. Just fantastic performance all over the pitch. Like one that will be remembered, I think, very fondly for a disappointing end to the Europa League run. I think everybody will look back on that and be proud.
I'm also going to say my goal of the season's in there. I know Tavernier scored a yelter against St Johnstone, but that John Lundstrom goal to me, oh my God, that is just the way he moves, everything about it, man. As you say, that game that was unreal. I still can't believe that game. Can't believe a lot of the games in Europa League, but between that, for me, and the semi-final, man, that was one of the greatest nights of my life, at Ibrox, man. It was unreal, as I say, just to get through to the final. Honestly, just tremendous. Proud of the team.
If we're going to best goal, then obviously you said yours was Lundstrom. I've got it down here as well, but tied with Lundstrom for me is Kamara against Leipzig. I thought that was just a very well worked goal. Just the silkiness to just pass into the goal, but just get enough on it to get into the goal. I thought it was just a great goal at a very good time as well. 2-0 up. At that point, we're in charge of the game. I thought that was a good one. Ryan Kent against Ross County. Another fantastic goal. I think that was the first time he actually, since he came back for his injury that game, and he scored for about 30 yards out. Lundstrom against Hearts at home, again, another screamer. It seems like Lundstrom only does score screamers, to be honest with you. But Lundstrom against Dortmund, the best on earth do tend to do stuff like that. So I think Lundstrom against Dortmund, but I think that just takes it. Just that that game was just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I can't remember. I probably watched the highlights more for that game than I had any other one, to be honest with you. I could not believe he just went and done that. So, lunchroom, and that sort of announced himself again to the Rangers support. Although he was put in, he was plugging away and he was doing well. Like, that goal was, I think, where everybody sort of started to fall in love with John Lundstrom. So, I
fell in love with him the day he signed. I predicted him. Don't you that? I don't get them wrong.
And if you want to stay on the John Lundstrom subject, best signing in the season has to be John Lundstrom. I mean, a guy that came in and had a really, really, really tough time at the start, getting sent off against Alice Kerr and bombed out the side. Anytime he played, it was sort of like, what's this guy even here for? How did he play Premier League? And then Gio comes in. He bided his time a bit. He didn't really get much game time throughout his first couple of months as manager, but then that Hearts game, as we said earlier on, like, Fiorani just was like, nah, centre mid's mine, and I'm just going to go and put a 10 out of 10 performance in every single game now. It was wild to see how just giving a guy time and to adapt to the club and that, and that's what you're getting for it.
As I said, mate, do you know what it was? It was he didn't realise until he full on experienced it how big this club is. Do you know what I mean? And how much it means to so many people. And as soon as he realised that, he went like, cool, I need to give everything, every game. And that's what he's done, man. He is, as I say, the best on earth. I love him. I really do. I always thought he'd be a great signing for us. It has taken him some time. It takes everyone some time. You've seen it with Diablo. It took him time. It's just a shame he's kicked on at the end. And we're all saying, no, get him to stay for another season. So for me, definitely the best signing is John Lundstrom this season.
Because you look at the signings, like Sakala has been maybe unfairly criticised at times, but you can understand the criticism when it comes.
Because we know there's a good player there, that's why. Do you know what I mean?
But I think for his first season as well, maybe between about 10 and 15 goals for the season, decent for a guy that comes in and comes off the bench most of the time.
I still count the Real Madrid goal, I'm just saying it.
I mean, that was a great start to his life as a Rangers player, but Lundstrom, I think, just reigns above everybody. And then we'll go most improved player of the season. There's a couple that could have come under this. I think that even Joe Aribo's been good for a couple of seasons, but he really improved a lot. And then he went to AFCON and it sort of took out him a bit. But then playing as a number 9 and playing anywhere, what Gio wanted him, like, he put in a shift. So I think he's improved his game. I think Scott Wright at the end of the season there, I think he has improved vastly for the player that we had seen. I know you're not the biggest fan at the moment, but I'm starting to see, like, right, maybe this guy's got stuff about him because he's adding the end product to his game now, which is what we all want. After
hearing them, what do you mean before? I couldn't get a game for Aberdeen now, I've just won the league. I was a fan. I liked that kind of comment. But as I say, hopefully next season we see a hell of a lot more for Scott Wright. I would like to see him improve and what have you, but I don't know. It's still in my back of my mind. I'm like, that guy's no Rangers quality, but I'll put
it was most in the back of my mind too.
For me, it's got to be Calvin Bassey.
That's mine as well. I was just
Calvin. If we're not doing young player or anything like that, I'm going to say most improved Calvin. He's just, as I said, he's world class. I don't care what anybody says on his days, world class. Honestly, left back, centre back, he'll play anywhere. I know he's watching a lot of David Alaba now. I've seen that wee clip of him where he was on about when he used to be a winger or whatever. It was Messi and Ronaldo he liked. But now watching some defenders, David Alaba, that's kind of players he models himself and likes to watch. So, I mean, if he keeps going, he'll be up there with David Alaba, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, his improvement's been unbelievable. I mean, for the start of the season, he was actually involved in the side. He was getting game time regularly. But then as soon as Gio came in as well, like, for me then put him at centre half for maybe the first sort of 10, 15 games that Gio even managed for us. Like, he was at centre half for a long part of that as well and done really well. There was times where you're maybe thinking, like, Selleck at the 3-0 game, you're thinking, is this guy a centre half or a left back?
That wasn't his fault. That was Barisic, as I said, and I'm happy. I'm hoping he's, do you know what I mean? Not hanging me against him, but I think he's probably done. But I thought, as I said at the start of the season, I always thought Calvin Bassey had to be playing over Barisic. I rate him so highly, man. I really do. I think he will go to the top of the games, I keep saying. And as you say, for Gio as well, wanting players to play more than one position, be able to be flexible. I love that from my coach. But for Calvin, left back, and centre back, mate. He's in there for me team of the season.
It's not, especially in terms of like the improvement in him. Like you see him at the start of the season, he was still raw. He was still brushing up a lot of stuff. But then to where we are now, for the sort of clubs that are linked to him and the performance he's putting on, I mean, that's massive improvement. So Bassey has to be Young Player of the Year then if we want to do that as well. I'm giving it to Alex Lowry because I've already given Bassey.
I'm giving it to Calvin Bassey. I've not seen Lowry's played a couple of games. Next season he'll get it probably, but for me it's Calvin Bassey.
Just the way Lowry's he came in that Stirling Albion game for Hadji and was just like, nah, I'm just going to just run the game now. For his first team performance as well. The goal against Hearts, any time we've sort of seen him, I think the biggest surprise was the Livingston game we went to at Ibrox. That was a really, really tough night, but we get the job done. Lowry started that game as well. So it shows that Gio's got confidence in him, playing him in the first team, and he has to be a regular next season for the first team. He's just got something about him. He's just a very technically gifted footballer, I think. And glad to see him actually sign on for the next few seasons. So I think he's going to be utilised next season to a good degree. Most underrated player. This is a maybe you could pick him. The Kemar Roof is still underrated. You could have picked, try to think, Leon Balogun, maybe another good possible candidate for that. Try to think anybody else. Ryan Jack does get a lot of plaudits. Even Ryan Kent. Kent's, but I've given it to Kamara.
Well, I'm going to give it Kemar Roof. I just think Kemar Roof still, for a lot of people, is underrated. That was Toby's wee ball there.
As you say, Roof. Especially when he comes off the bench, and for him to still finish with, I think, 10 plus goals this season for the limited games he's played. I mean, he scores goals, he's in the right place at the right time, and he'll run his arse into the ground for you. So I think
just a lot of
Roof's underrated.
When do you know what I mean? People saying, "Oh, he's no Rangers quality, and what have you, or the injury prone." My man proved it with that Braga game, man. I'm telling you, most underrated.
But I think even I've given it to Glenn Kamara as well, is because he's not been at his best this season by any means, but in terms of playing new positions, like he's played advanced as like a centre attacking mid, even behind the striker at times. He's moved out left in that Scottish Cup game. He's played in the middle of the park as a centre defensive midfielder. I think across the full midfield, Kamara's done well this season. Maybe towards the end of the season, he's done a lot better. Been given the new rules and that, but I still think he's very underrated because you can rely on him to come in and do a job all the time, and I just never see anything really anybody talking about him. So Kamara for me, and then finishing off with this player of the season, it can only be one guy for me, Tavernier.
It's just, I mean, how can you not get to Tav? Europa League on its own, you could just give it to him. Altogether, as I say, he's been fantastic most of the season. One or two games where you're expecting more from him. The final of Europa League goes so well, and then he gets to the final and he didn't have the best game. But overall, proud of him. I know we were on here where sometimes we've been saying, "Oh, he's no Rangers cat," but he is, man. I adore that man so much. As I say, for me, player of the season. Happy he gets the golden boot, and
as you say, like you can be player of this. Morelos obviously dug us through a lot of games as well when he was fit. Of course, he's probably maybe next to Tavernier.
But Tavernier, Morelos.
I'll give him it. But for Tavernier being available every single game this season, putting in like mammoth performances at times as well. Never hides, always tries to push us forward when we're maybe not playing well, not creating enough. He's always the guy that's trying to push us forward, leads by example. Even when the cup celebrations and that, like you've got the injured players, Hadji, Morelos, and he was like, "No, come over and we're a team," kind of thing. I like that. I just think he's a credit to the club, to be honest with you. I think he's he's handled himself and he's sort of grown as a real captain this season. And just happy he's here, to be honest with you. And I'm happy he's going to be driving us into next season as well. Tavernier, player of the season.
Are we doing wildest moment of the season? Is that when Gerrard left and Tavernier was on Twitch?
That has to be probably because that's maybe the most viewers he's ever got. Because I mean, you see the on Twitter and all that. I don't think we were off Twitter for days scrolling and seeing what was happening there. And Tavernier's just on Twitch sitting playing Call of Duty as if it's like nothing. That was probably up there as one of the wildest moments of the season. Is one I remember anyway. But that will sort of finish off the review. We done well this season. That was all the players that we'd like to mention.
Proud of them.
Proud of them, and hopefully
every single one of them. And I'm just looking forward to next season, man. A player I'll tell you who's going to feel like a new signing next season is Hadji. I cannot wait to see my boy Giannis come back and play, man. He's been sorely missed. Hope he gets a trim though. I know I'm wanting to talk about trims, but I don't like him with the long hair. I like him with the short. Do you know what I mean? We need to sell them tops, Jack. We need them. You know what I mean? Posters selling them tops, as I said.
That's a guy for me. I cannot wait till he comes back. I just think he just fits Gio's sort of philosophy well for the way it's went after he got injured, which was unfortunate. I think he could have played such a big role up front, outright behind the striker. I think he could play anywhere across the midfield and attack. So I think he's going to be a valuable player. Hopefully it is for pre-season. He's going to be ready and he is right back at the start. I wouldn't like for him to sort of have to wait and get fit through pre-season. I hope he's going to be fit and ready for then. And Philip Lander as well. Obviously, I put out that tweet yesterday seeing what's going to happen with him. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, and that will do the tier list, keep sell or loan thing.
Hopefully, my favourite episode.
It's going to be good to do that. So it'll be good to look at the whole squad. And Namdi Offerboard as well. Obviously, we see him on the pitch all the time. We've never really got an update on him. I really feel sorry for the guy that we've not actually got to see him in the pitch yet. But you do wonder what is best for both parties, if he's going to actually play or not, if he's going to even play football again. I don't know, man. It's a tough one for him.
You can be on loan at a club and turn up to the Rangers games, every single one of them. Andy First, mate, this guy, every game I see him,
never misses a beat.
I'm like, yo, you're not supposed to be on loan at Partick or something.
I don't think he cares about that, to be honest with you. He just likes to have a party with all the Rangers players. But we'll look forward to doing that next couple of weeks anyway. Now, for just to finish off the episode, SPFL team of the season. Then I looked at a lot of these players and. Obviously, I don't think there's any that are really up for debate, but there's a couple of positions that you could maybe pick a few for. But starting off in goals, Craig Gordon obviously won the player of the season as well for the Scottish League. So again, shown with age again, he's just been a fantastic goalkeeper. Even the save of the weekend there, he's stud to deny Joe Aribo was a sensational one. And it just you always barely question, why did Celtic ever get rid of him? It's just a real weird one. Now he's a Hearts captain, Scotland number one still, and playing exceptional football. So I think it has to be Craig Gordon for me.
Oh, it definitely has to be. I mean, he couldn't do it against the youngsters, that's all I'll say, but he's got to be keeper of the season. He is a fantastic goalkeeper on his day, as I say, man. Some of the saves he made in that Scottish Cup final, I couldn't believe it. But no, definitely, I'll put Craig Gordon in the net.
Yeah, right back, Tavernier. There was only one. I don't get how people are even thinking about MDLs for this position. It has to be Tavernier. I mean, as a whole this season, I mean, it was a long season, 65 games in all competitions or something like that. For him to play near enough all of them, 18 goals, 17 assists for right back. I mean, he's been doing this for seasons now, and we're only sort of just appreciating it now. So, Tavernier, 100%.
There's no question about it. Best right back in the league. I don't really care what anybody says. You can put your Anthony Ralstons up there and say, well, this don't care. Nobody touches Tavernier in this league, I'm telling you. Centre half, I've went with somebody for the other side of Glasgow. I've put the American in there. What's it, Carter Vickers? I think he's been a solid signing for them. I think he's going to sign permanently, so it's a good sign for them. He seems like a rock at the back as well, so I've put him in.
He's always been. He's one of the players, like, you can understand the hype with the Celtic sort of fans about him, because coming in for him, especially, he seems to be loaned out all the time. He was at Bournemouth and that. Like, for him to find a place where he's actually settled now, He's done well, to be honest with you. Every time we've played them, we just can't seem to get by the guy at times. He's a unity, a defender, and one that I really don't want Celtic to sign to him. To be honest with you, he's a really good defender, and he's in there. My next centre half, I shuffled about a bit. I put John Souttar in because I just think John Souttar's showed a massive level of performance this season. Hearts fans, obviously, when that signing happened for him to come to us, they were obviously sending him abuse, but then some fans were actually now thinking, well, what are we actually going to do without this guy? So just shows you how good he's been, even for the first day of the season, scoring the winner against Celtic, to then obviously had a couple of injuries throughout the campaign, but he's a good defender, and we saw that for the final on Saturday as well. So Souttar's in for me.
Well, I can't comment on MD else for the league, mate. I don't really watch MD, as I say, bar my boys. But I put Calvin Bassey as centre back and left back. My man's been doing the job all season, so why not put him in team of the season? If you're going on hang me, probably put John Souttar in there. Obviously, I know lad to the Rangers team. I'm looking forward to watching week in and week out. But I'm sticking with Calvin Bassey, centre back and left back. I don't really care what MD says. He's not that whole side.
I don't think that's even a problem, to be honest with you. Bassey's a left back for me anyway, but as we just spoke about pretty much that episode is earlier on, like, showed just massive improvement. And he's always available at left back or centre half and putting in great performances. So Bassey at left back and centre back if you lose. So midfield then, starting off midfield, Cal McGregor. I think he was in the running for player of the season as well. Just Celtic, that's what they done last season. They sort of built the team around him, made him captain, and it paid off. He's a good player, especially for Scotland as well. He's always in state class lineups, and he's a top player, to be honest with you. He's one of the Celtic players I've always sort of looked at, even for back in the day, and thought, he's a good player. He's had a really good season this year, so Cal McGregor in for me.
No, he's in for me as well, mate. As I say, solid midfielder. Kind of sent, as I said, when he scored that goal for Scotland, I can't really think me, but no, he's a top midfielder and he's in there for me as well.
Yeah. My next midfielder then, Joe Aribo. I think Joe Aribo tailed off towards the end of the season, but he was playing as more like a striker, so you could put him up front. But I think most of the season, as you say, like, he was the top dog for us, to be honest with you. Like, showed a great level of performance this season, Joe Aribo, and as we say, he even proved himself for where he was at. He was already good, and he's improved himself again. So Joe Aribo.
Joe Aribo's in there for me as well, my man. You can't just not have somebody in there who obviously hasn't had the best at the end of the season, but I think he's played more games than MD, is he not? For what club level and
in terms of what, like, the whole world, I think he's either tied or he's like played the most games of MD in the world this season. So
just tremendous. So you can understand maybe tailing off at the end of the season, but for the first half of the season, he was definitely one we were saying is Rangers' best player of the season so far. So he's in there for me. Another midfielder I was debating putting in, but I've put Johnny Lundstram in. I'm going to game it. I just think John Lundstram's been sensational. As I say, he's the best on earth, mate. I don't care, mate.
I respect that pick. I've looked towards somebody else, so because it's a guy that always.
Here we go, hipster pick.
It's a guy that always pops up, and every single sort of time you look at a team of the season, Lewis Ferguson I've put in, because Aberdeen are chronic, right? Aberdeen are absolutely woeful this season. This guy somehow managed to score like 12 goals in the league. So although I know a lot of them might have been penalties, but you look at Tavernier as well, he scores the penalties, so but putting them in the net, and he's gained them points, and he's gained them victories at times where they could have been down and out with Dundee down there, by the way. Like, they were shocking this season, and he's probably the only guy alongside Ramirez before Glass left that's actually turned up for Aberdeen this year. So Ferguson in there, you could have.
He's pushing for a move in the summer.
I think if he's not on the bus going to Seville with other Rangers fans and that, maybe he will be. But I think he has to move on for Aberdeen now. Though he rejected Watford last year, probably better off for him now, right enough when you look at that. But for him to go to the Premier League, and I think he maybe has to move on now. But again, looking at his stats, I mean, he's done pretty well in a really, really poor Aberdeen team again this season.
Oh, credit to him. I know he's one that Rangers fans went over, but you never know what will happen with that one. But no, credit to him. I've got to have put him in there. I know he's not done that much against us so far in his Celtic career, but I've put Kyogo in there. I think the goals he scored against Hibs in that final they were sensational goals. If you're a footballing fan, you've got to hold your hands up and say that, mate. I'm sorry, but I've put him in there. He's been a really good signing for Celtic. I know a lot he's looked at it and we're laughing why they signing players for the league that Andrew's managing in. I don't even know the name yet. But
The J League.
The J League. But I've put him in there, mate.
I think you could pick Kyogo definitely. I think because he was injured for a large part of the season, I've not went for him. I've went with Jota actually instead. Jota.
I'll put Jota in there and all.
I'll be you've got him in there as well. But he looks to be signing permanently for Celtic as well. So
it's nice to have a Rangers man at Celtic, isn't it?
It's good to have a guy that was obviously supporting us in Seville over there. So fair play to him. But he's a good player. Again, maybe one again that's not really done much in the Old Firm games. Just the one goal for him. It was the one at Celtic Park most recently. But as a whole this season, I mean, he's been really good for Celtic this season. And obviously that's why they're signing him for 7 million. So Jota for me, as you said, you already had Jota in there as well. But my other side is Charles Cook for Ross County. I couldn't forget about the guy that's top scorer of the league.
I'll tell you what, I'll take Kyogo out. I'll put Charles Cook in. I've just remembered him there as well. No, he is, to do what he's done at Ross County, that is pretty remarkable, to be fair. Nobody really expects anything for Ross County, so I can respect that. I'll tell you what, on your boat, Kyogo, I'm putting him in Charles Cook. Hopefully he's got to get a move in the summer to maybe...
I think he's out of contract as well, so wherever he's going, it's going to be a free transfer. And
Ross Wilson loves a free.
And Ross Wilson does love a free. But I think he's had a good season. It's whether he can go and kick on and do this for multiple seasons now, because last season he didn't even score a goal. And then this season he's top scorer in the league. So it's like, is he going to continue that in the next season, wherever he goes? I think it'd be a really good signing for Hearts, by the way. Like, they can offer European football now, and they're going to be playing the group stages, either the Conference League or the Europa League. So they can offer that. It'll maybe be a platform he wants to go and play on. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at Hearts.
For Hearts and all, but
Cedric, hopefully they give a couple of million for him. If they're going to get Ellis Sims, they can take Cedric in off their hands, no problem.
No problem.
But my main man leading the line is Alfredo Morelos.
I don't care. Morelos. He, honestly, I don't care what anybody says. Morelos all day long. I adore the man. I seen that he's putting the work in this morning. I like to see. I can't wait to get him back playing in the jersey. But no, he's been fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, guy never drops his quality whatsoever. Been fantastic again. Carried us through some periods as well. So Morelos is in there for me.
Nah, Morelos just looks like a different guy, especially when Van Bronckhorst came in at the start. Just
more like himself, man. He was overweight a wee bit with Gerrard.
And he was just getting told to play more like a midfielder and that. I'm like, just play the guy in front of the goal and he'll score. Like, and he done that. I think he maybe scored about 10 or 15 goals under Gio already. So it's good to see him back playing and enjoying his football. It was unfortunate, obviously, he got injured and he missed out in just such a big part of the season as well. But it was nice to see he was still there and he was still supporting the team whenever he could when he was back for Colombia. And it's nice to see him now actually putting in the work and getting fit for the season while everybody else is away. So he's going to be a massive, massive player. He's been probably the main man alongside Tavernier for 5 years now. So, I mean, to have him still in the team of the season, still scoring, I think he was maybe only one off Charles Cook in the end after he got injured. But Morelos, 100%. You could have had Giacomakis in. He had a good end to the season. Kyogo, as we spoke about, Liam Boyce done no bad for Hearts this season. Ellis Sims coming in at the end as well.
Manager of the season. I'm going to Nielsen. Don't care.
Nielsen.
Don't care. He's got them Europa League football. Took them to a cup final. I'm not going to give it to Hingway because I'm telling you right now, you're expected to do something, mate. You're expected. Do you know what I mean? What was everyone expecting him to finish bottom of the league? He's managing, obviously, the team who have won the league. I expect you to be competing to win it. Do you know what I mean? I said when we did predicting the table, I said St Johnstone would struggle and Hearts would come up straight away and do excellent. I'm going to give it to Robbie Nielsen, mate. I don't see any problem in it.
I think maybe Robbie Nielsen's a good pick for it. I'd probably go for him as well. Obviously, it'd be easy to just say Ange Postecoglou because of the league and that, but then it'd be easy to say Van Bronckhorst as well because we're on a Rangers podcast. So I just want to give you somebody else that, as you say, Robbie Nielsen, watching his interviews whenever the John Souttar sort of saga and that was going on, and hearing from Andy Halliday on Open Goal and stuff about him, he seems like a good manager. He's got the best out of this team.
They struggled the first time around as well with Hearts.
He was the manager of Hearts, I think, when we were in the Championship the first season. This is his he's second or third spell. I know he's still got a lot of doubters, but to get Hearts into the position, maybe it wouldn't have been that easy if Hibs and Aberdeen were actually any good this year. But to run away with third spot, especially for how vital it was for third spot to guarantee European group stage football, it's huge for a club like Hearts, and I'm actually excited to see how Hearts do in a competition like this. It's nice to have another team in and about that landscape. So, especially when we keep sort of a tight-knitted squad as well. I heard him speak at the start of the season. Hearts, as you've seen throughout the seasons, have just signed MD and had a pure bloated squad, but he was like, no, I want to actually just sign quality and get a sort of tight-knitted squad. It maybe didn't do them the greatest in the end because they had a lot of injuries in that, but I think Robbie Nielsen's done a really good job beating Celtic in the first day of the season, getting a point off us at Ibrox, and performing no bad in terms of, I think Hearts fans really want more against Old Firm. But
of course they do. Of course you would. But to finish where they finished for me, as I say, I have to take it to him. As I said, it would be easy to give it to Ange Postecoglou, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm expecting you to challenge me. I'm expecting you to do stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's what you've been brought in to do. I just think Robbie Nielsen deserves it, mate.
Yeah, Robbie Nielsen's done well. On the flip side, you could get to Ange Postecoglou for the fact that Celtic, for where they were, they've completely changed. But again, you expect them to go through a massive change and be there. But some of the quality football that they've played and to go unbeaten domestically for that period of time sort of won them the league when you think about it. So, yeah, you could pick any of the top three. To be honest, you can argue your case against any of them. Robbie Nielsen's done well this season. Absolutely. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has done really well this season as well, getting a cup, getting a Europa League final and sort of establishing himself in the league. But any three of them, take your pick. But I'll get you Nielsen the same as you as well.
Got to. No, I need to talk about it. So Johnston's still in the league?
Yes.
It's disgusting. I don't like that thing. Inverness have played all season to get promotion. They should be just promoted. So Johnston have been woeful all season. I said they would fall away after winning 2 cups, which was a fantastic achievement. But I just knew they would fall away. I don't like that thing. Like
the way they do it.
The top team. It really annoys me. Do you know what I mean? If I was the Inverness manager, I'd be fuming. Obviously, you'd be annoyed your team's lost the game, but all the hard work they've put in to just be thrown away, discarded. So Johnston get a one-off game to stay in the league. I really think that's unfair.
But then I think the way it's maybe unfair as well for, I think Inverness finished third or fourth or so. No, they finished third. I think it was who went straight up?
Kilmarnock.
So Kilmarnock finished first. Arbroath, Inverness, and Partick Thistle. I mean, Arbroath, everybody's gunning for them. Surely, if it's the way you want it to be, Arbroath and Kilmarnock will go up. But then, for the fact that Inverness still finished fourth, I mean, it's stupid the way it works. The team that finishes fourth can go up. Maybe I just don't like the way the Scottish League actually is set up in general, even with our league as well, where it's split in half and that. I just think it's stupid.
I'll give you your favourite line for the Partick manager. So Johnston have been absolute dog meat all season. Do you know what I mean? I just think that's really
they got the result when it mattered. I guess
they got the result when it hangs, but I know it's been unfair to them as well. They lost a lot of their players in the summer, and they couldn't, obviously, for the money they were getting, what have you. They can't knock it back because of the finance they've got. But I just even you're saying that they finished third or fourth, still to me, they're still fighting to get promotion. Do you know what I mean? They've been a good enough side to get into that position. I know we were all rooting for Arbroath to come up, but As what it is, I guess. We're going to have to play St Johnstone next season. I just hope Gio makes the subs when we go and play them again.
Aye, hopefully it's not a pure dismal February night or something like that. And
you've just cussed it, mate.
And we're sitting there and it's going to be freezing. Gio's just going to be sitting in the touchline just laughing at everything for not making any subs.
Aye.
But,
big cigar in hand.
Aye, as you say, like, well, you've got Kilmarnock and you've got St Johnstone next season, so that's instead of Dundee, of course. Thank fuck they're away. They're fucking shite, by the way. They're awful. I can't believe he struggled against them last time he played them. They're so bad.
I know.
And they're going to be going down. Looks like Sean Maloney might be managing them next season, or Jack Ross. That's the two front runners for that job. So,
can I just touch on the interview that David Marshall did? That was basically Che Adams with Southampton, talking about Hibs should be striving to win the league, which I can understand. Fair play, but I have to laugh at him. I cannot wait to see us put the ball in the back of his net, man. I'd really give him a wee extra after the Euros, man. I've never rated him. I can't stand Davy Marshall whatsoever.
No, and apparently Hibs as well. It's just as we finish off, are apparently looking at Aidan McGeady. Aidan McGeady is.
Did he not just get promotion with Sunderland?
Aye. So apparently they're looking at maybe bringing him back to Scottish football, but we'll need to see.
So he's going to open goal every week, aye?
Aye, most likely. But aye, that was the episode. Sort of covered the season. We'll obviously be doing more videos, more podcast episodes, basically reviewing who we think stays or goes and transfer rumours whenever we obviously see them coming in and that. So, aye. As always, if you'd like, subscribe, share about for us, very much appreciated. Thanks for all the support again this season, for clicking on the videos and supporting us. It's appreciated as always.
Scottish football, that should be everyone's target, so let's do it, people.
Let's do it. So until then, we'll see you.